When you take viral marketing literally, that's how you get Children of the Vault #1. That's what we're talking about today on The Newest Mutants. Hi, I'm Laz. I read comics so that you don't have to. And today we're talking about a really weird book, that book being Children of the Vault #1. But things always get weird when Cable and Bishop are involved, two of our favorite future mutants. Let's take a look at the cover here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we're going to put it up on the screen. This is a beautiful cover by Yannick Paquette and Guru EFX. Love that name. Here is my copy so you can see that I'm not a poser. I already showed it to you, but we're going to look at it again. Woo! And then, again, here's a picture. You have, I think that's Serafina right there. That's the only one that I know by sight. But that's who's there on the cover. It looks really good. And, of course, if we're talking about creators of this comic, we are going to talk about these people. Our writer is Denise Camp. Or maybe Deniz Camp, Deniz, you can see it right there. Luca Maresca is our artist. Carlos Lopez is our color artist. And VC's Corey Petit, our letterer. As always, the magnanimous CB Cebulski is our editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. And of course, don't forget to stick around until the end of the episode where I show off the first limited series solo run of either Cable or Bishop. Who will it be? Our story begins in Ecuador, where the Las Vegas sphere was grown. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually the vault, and without Krakoan technology or mutants to upkeep the vault, it shuts down and the children escape. Probably because they didn't want to clean their room. You see, the children were in a state of suspended animation where they were being influenced to dream of a world that they had conquered. After the vault fails, though, the children quickly realize and figure out what happened. We then cut to a crushing scene that describes the extraction of natural resources, in this case lithium, and the wastewater that's left behind from this operation in Chile. A young boy drinks the poisonous water and ironically takes a selfie with a cell phone made from the very same lithium stolen from their land because they're not getting any of that profit. And the selfie captures this awesome picture of the city of the children that's floating in the sky. Very good, very real writing here. Okay, we cut to an Orcus facility where Cable, our boy Nathan Summers, is being tortured and experimented on. He doesn't even have an arm, right? That trademark metal arm is gone. Orcus is using machines that are trying to extract his secrets directly from his brain. But Cable is trained enough to not reveal anything except for this mantra that he has been sort of meditating on, which is, a mantra from his future, which is what is. That's all they're getting from him. But something happens to the facility, and Cable is able to escape. But what happened to that facility? It's Bishop. Bishop happened, and they escape. Sadly, they have to leave Cable's arm behind, but don't worry, it's rigged with a hand grenade. Boom. It explodes, right? And as they're escaping, Cable gets caught up on what happened in Krakoa by reading Bishop's mind like this. He's like, We're back with the children now, and they're marketing themselves as the children of tomorrow. And they want to save humanity. The children come down and tell humanity all about themselves. And before I tell you what they told them, let's learn about the Children of the Vault. The Children of the Vault first appeared in X-Men number 188, volume 2 from 2006. they're evolved humans. They're not mutants. Let's be clear here. They were part of an experiment where their ancestors were put into a vault where time flowed faster. They had something like an extra 6,000 years on humanity, and inside the vault they evolved and created technology. The children consider themselves a different species from humans and mutants. The first children that came from X-Men 188 were Sangre, Serafina, Fuego, and Aguja. Or maybe it's Aguja, but I'm kind of doing that Spanish J, so Aguja. I could be wrong. So the children come down from their lofty city in the sky and explain how they're superpowered and high-tech and that they're going to save Earth. And they proceed to spread their technology around the world, especially to the poorest places on the planet. I like that. Doesn't seem bad so far, right? People are also getting healed, they're being fed, or they're living and sleeping through their dreams in these like pods. They're also stopping natural disasters and saving people before disasters even affect them. There's this really cool panel right here where there's an earthquake in Turkey and someone moving at the speed of light literally saves everyone before the buildings collapse. Does not sound like a bad deal to me, right? And it seems like Earth just readily accepts the children and their utopia, like really quickly. Now, Orcus is sort of like, we're not going to confront them. We're still trying to genocide mutants. Plus, the children are like way more powerful. So if you think there's like some disconnect, I feel you there, but like Orcus is doing their own thing and the children don't care. And so after a month of introducing all this technology and life-saving stuff to Earth, the world has changed. We cut back over to Bishop and Cable, where Bishop suspects the children are using some form of coercion to convince humanity to simply accept their gifts. They arrive at one of Cable's safe houses, and it's got a bunch of cool vehicles in it. We get a very brief flashback as to what Bishop has been up to in the month after the Hellfire Gala. He's been mostly living rough on the streets, moving at night, taking out Orcus bases, usual Bishop stuff. That's when the children escaped. Bishop felt he needed to deal with them, and so he chose Cable to help him out. This is a great pairing. The two of them have a rocky relationship, so seeing them work together should be very interesting for the story and the plot going forward. Using telepathy, Cable discovers a spot on Bishop's mind, and that spot was not inserted via telepathy. He analyzes it with his new metal arm that has this really cool tattoo that talks to him, and they figure out it's a virus. Ooh. How far has this virus spread? Who created the virus? Is it contagious? Well, they determined that, yeah, it's contagious and it spreads person to person. They figure out the children created it, obviously, because there's tons of children propaganda everywhere that they see. You could say this virus has gone viral. And that's the book. That's the comic. It ends. Here is my main takeaway from this book. The mutants were literally doing all the stuff that the children started doing. Yes, some of the mutants were causing problems for humans, it's true, but in the Krakoa era, they were trying really hard to share their gifts with humans. It seems really weird to me that humanity would just, suddenly be super cool with other superpowered people, like the children, trying to do the same thing. Now, we don't know if it's the virus making humans just accept the children willingly, but I wouldn't doubt it. There is a line that Bishop says that, he almost succumbed to their influence, but then he was like, well, I never succumb to people's influence so easily. Still, it's a weird time in the Marvel universe. All the mutants just left the planet, most of them, and now these super benevolent, evolved humans are here saving it. It's a little weird, a little strange storyline, but we'll see where it goes. With that, let's take a look at my 3 favorite panels. Number 3. This image of Cable is my third favorite, and I love how he's floating upside down, meditating. Meanwhile, they're studying him, but he's been studying them as well. As you can see by his pose, he's like got that lotus pose thing going on. Very calm, very relaxed in the midst of a terrible situation. And he's missing his arm. Number 2, and check this out. This is a great photo panel. This is a great panel. The children step out into the forest for the first time after leaving the vault, and they find the old master mold. Finding that the world has changed so much since they've been in slumber. This is a really cool art panel here of the master mold in ruins. I just love this callback. Great panel. The number 1 panel for me is going to be the poison water selfie. Look at the floating city. Look at the yellow-green toxic water and the child, this victim of exploitation, land theft, and neo-colonialism, striking the victory pose or the peace pose. There's a lot of layers going here. I really, really like it. But what we're seeing is the old order about to be trounced by the new order. Amazing. Amazing. And now, as promised, it's time to brag about a book from my collection. And today, it's an interesting one. It's Cable, number 1 of 2. It's a limited series run called Blood and Metal. This is his first solo series. The cover art is by John Romita Jr. with a story by Fabian Nicieza. I'm sorry if I butchered that, Fabian. What I always loved about Cable was the ridiculous guns he had. Please enjoy this 1990s cover. It's fantastic. Next time on The Newest Mutants, we're going to be talking about Realm of X. So if you want to know what happened to Marrow and Typhoid Mary, we'll find out. Actually, it's kind of an interesting book. So see you next time on The Newest Mutants.